A woman's body was found in Phoenix, Arizona. The FBI just shifted its command post to the exact city where this unresponsive woman surfaced, leaving the entire country paralyzed by one terrifying question. Is it Nancy Guthrie? On the morning of the Friday, March 6th, the quiet along the Grand Canal Trail in West Phoenix was shattered by a 911 call that every person following the Guthrie case had been dreading. Someone spotted an adult woman, unresponsive, lying on the bank near 27th Place. By the time Maricopa County officers arrived, there was nothing they could do. She was pronounced dead right then and there on the canal bank. Within minutes of the news hitting the wire, the specific details about an unidentified female were ignored by a public already on edge. People didn't see a local tragedy. They saw a potential end to the 120-mile mystery that began in Tucson on February 1st. The geography is haunting. A body appeared in the very city where the FBI recently moved its entire command center. As the medical examiner's van arrived to secure the scene, social media feeds exploded with speculation, turning a local death investigation into a national crisis of hope and fear. The entire country held its breath, waiting for the one name no one wanted to hear. The distance between Nancy Guthrie's front porch in Tucson and the Grand Canal in Phoenix is exactly 120 miles. To a healthy adult, that's a 2-hour drive on I-10. To an 84-year-old woman who can't walk 50 yards without assistance, it's an impossible journey. Nancy didn't wander off, and she certainly didn't make it to Phoenix on her own. If this body is confirmed to be her, it fundamentally shifts the profile of the suspect. We aren't looking for a local prowler anymore. We're looking for someone with the means, the vehicle, and the cold-blooded coordination to transport a victim across county lines. Moving a missing person 120 miles through one of the most heavily monitored highway corridors in the Southwest requires more than just luck. It requires a suspect who knows how to dodge license plate readers and bypass the digital dragnet that has been tightening since February 1st. If the body in the canal is in fact Nancy, every assumption about a local kidnapper just went out the window. The moment the Phoenix discovery went viral, the Pima County Sheriff's Department released a statement that sounded like a dismissal. But it was actually a masterpiece of bureaucratic caution. They stated they had not been advised of any law enforcement activity in Phoenix being connected to the Guthrie case. To the casual listener, that sounds like they're saying it's not her. But that's not what they said. In the world of high-stakes investigations, not advised is a legal placeholder. It means that as of this second, the paperwork hasn't cleared and the labs haven't synced. It's the sound of two massive government agencies, Maricopa and Pima, waiting for a medical examiner to sign a document before they commit to a headline. They aren't going to confirm a connection until the DNA or the dental records are indisputable. Until then, they stay in this linguistic limbo, protecting the investigation while the public waits for a definitive answer. In police speak, not advised is often the quiet before the forensic storm. When the FBI quietly packed up their mobile command post in Tucson and shifted their entire base of operations to Phoenix, the public reaction was one of confusion and even a bit of anger. Many residents in the Catalina foothills interpreted it as a sign the investigation was winding down or that Nancy's case was being relegated to a back burner file. But the FBI doesn't move its specialized tech and manpower just for the office space or convenience. Phoenix is in the central nervous system of the Southwest Transportation Network. It's the absolute hub for Interstate 10, the airport, and every major transit route in and out of Phoenix. If you're tracking a suspect who has moved beyond a local neighborhood, Phoenix is where the digital and physical trails intersect. By positioning themselves in the heart of Maricopa County weeks ago, the Bureau wasn't retreating. They were getting ahead of trajectory that led directly into the city. This move suggests that federal agents had data from cell tower pings or license plate readers that pointed north long before the public knew. It now looks like a chillingly prophetic move. The FBI shifted their base to Phoenix weeks before a body appeared there, leaving us to wonder what they saw that we didn't. If the woman in the canal is indeed Nancy Guthrie, it forces us to look closer at a detail that retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer has been shouting about since day one. The suspect on that porch wasn't working alone. Forensic analysis of the Nest footage shows a distinct, rectangular device clipped to the suspect's pocket that looks exactly like a two-way walkie-talkie. This isn't just a gear choice. It's a tactical one that points to a coordinated effort. Moving an 84-year-old woman 120 miles through a state blanketed in license plate readers and high-definition highway surveillance is a logistical nightmare for a single person to manage. You need a scout car to check for police activity ahead of you and a secondary driver to handle the victim transfer. This two-way detail suggests a level of military-style coordination that changes the entire profile of the kidnapper. It means we aren't looking for a lone drifter or a random prowler, but a team with the communication and the transport plan to vanish a victim into the busiest city in the state without being flagged by a single camera. A lone wolf stays local. A team has the logistics to truly cross county lines. When a body is found in a condition that makes immediate visual identification impossible, the public often assumes we're in for a weeks-long wait for DNA results. But in 2026, Nancy Guthrie's case has a digital shortcut that bypasses the lab entirely. Nancy doesn't just have a medical history. She has a tracked internal device. Every pacemaker manufactured today carries a unique, federally registered serial number etched into its titanium casing. While the suspect was busy cutting the landlines and disabling the Nest cameras at 1:47 a.m., he was standing next to a piece of technology he couldn't touch or scramble. The Maricopa County Medical Examiner doesn't need to wait for a complex biological profile to know if the woman found on the Grand Canal Bank is Nancy. They can use a specialized wand to interrogate the device or, in a post-mortem setting, simply verify the physical serial number against the FBI's records in a matter of minutes. It's a definitive, unhackable piece of forensic evidence that turns a medical necessity into a permanent tracking beacon. The suspect cut the wires to the house, but he couldn't change the serial number etched into Nancy's heart. For 5 weeks, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department had been drinking from a fire hose of information. Over 23,600 tips have flooded the hotline, ranging from genuine sightings to the kind of digital noise that inevitably follows a $1.1 million reward. But on March 5th, the day before the body surfaced in Phoenix, the FBI made a sobering admission. The tips have started to taper. In the language of federal investigators, tapering is a turning point. It means the public has likely said everything it has to say, and the citizen detective phase of the investigation is ending. This is the moment where the focus shifts from the phones to the forensics. When the stream of incoming leads dries up, the FBI stops hunting for a witness and starts leaning entirely on the morgue, the data logs, and the cold, hard science of the canal discovery. They're no longer waiting for someone to call in a name. They're waiting for a lab technician to confirm one. It's a transition from the chaos of public opinion to the clinical silence of a death investigation. When the phone stops ringing, the forensic evidence has to start speaking. For the Guthrie family, the last 5 weeks haven't just been a search. They've been a brutal cycle of false hope and public trauma. Savannah Guthrie recently sat down and told her colleagues, "I'm still standing," a phrase that captures the sheer exhaustion of being the face of a national tragedy while her mother's still missing. Every time a body found headline pings on a smartphone, Savannah and her siblings, Annie and Cameron, are forced into a suspended state of grief. They've already survived the viral Sabino Canyon hoax, where a fabricated TikTok video about a body in a pond sent the internet into a frenzy and forced a weary Pima County spokesperson to issue a one-sentence denial. But this March 6th discovery in Phoenix feels fundamentally different. This isn't a digital ghost story or an unverified social media rumor. It's a confirmed, high-stakes death investigation by the Maricopa County Medical Examiner. It's happening in the exact city where the FBI moved its command post, lending a terrifying weight to the geography. While the public speculates and the algorithm amplifies the noise, a daughter is waiting for a phone call that will either shatter her world or offer a miracle. Until the medical examiner speaks, Savannah Guthrie is living in the most agonizing 48 hours of her life. With the FBI already positioned in the same city, is it possible that they already know something about the canal bank that they aren't telling the public yet?